Our film begins in the year 2257 after Earth became uninhabitable due to the wars that raged upon it, and the Earth was almost completely destroyed. Therefore, scientists began sending people to the moon to build colonies there that would be suitable for humans. After a short time, their plan succeeded, and many people went and lived there, and they called the inhabitants of the moon miners. After a while, these miners discovered a planet called Omega, which is suitable for life, and now all their efforts are focused on transferring the inhabitants of the moon there. The government asked the miners to extract all the helium on the moon so that they could use it as fuel to travel to the planet Omega. After that, we meet the children of the miners. One day we see these children trying to steal a spaceship, but suddenly they hear the sound of someone coming towards them, so they run and hide. And there is a child among them named Caleb, and we see him carrying a strange looking capsule. And we know that it contains the ashes of his deceased father. And we also know that his father was working as a miner in the mine on the moon, but died during work. Therefore, the government decided to transfer Caleb to a place called Omega. This is because one of the laws of the moon is that any child under the age of 18 whose family is absent, meaning dead, must be sent immediately to Omega to live a happy life there. However, the transfer process takes 75 years. During the trip, people enter capsules with extremely low temperatures to preserve their ages. This is so that the age of the person who will travel remains constant. Caleb feels unhappy about this trip because it will separate him from his friends whom he has met and become very close to. However, he is forced to travel because the government forced him to do so. Caleb remembers when his father told him that there had been an explosion on the moon before, and this explosion caused a very large crater. The government prevented any of the residents from going there, no matter what happened. However, his father's wish was to travel to this crater and go to a specific place there. After a while, his close friend Dylan comes to sit with him. Caleb tells him that he has decided to go to the crater before leaving to fulfill his father's wish. Caleb and his friends begin to prepare for this mission. The problem is that to get out of the colony they live in, they need to enter a secret code that no one knows at all. Therefore, Dylan suggests that they go and ask a girl named Edison about this code because she has just come from Earth and her father is a great scientist. And of course, she will be able to help them. In this dialogue, Dylan goes to her and asks for her help. At first, she doesn't quite agree, but then she changes her mind and tells them that she will help them on one condition, that she go with them. So Dylan is forced to agree to this condition. Then they go to prepare for the mission. Caleb goes and disables the alarm for the car they are going to steal. Edison also tells them the code. And they set off on this adventure and enjoy the view of the moon, but they have to return early because the meteors will hit the moon today. Caleb tells them that his father told him before that if any miner dies, his son must complete the journey after him if he is over 18 years old. But if he is younger, the government will send him to Omega to compensate for the loss of his family. He is clearly upset about the law and wants to change it. After a while, they all put on their spacesuits to go down to the moon and have a great time enjoying the view of Earth from afar. Then, one of them, Bernie, ties an oxygen tank to his suit and starts playing and flying in the air. But suddenly the rope breaks and he flies into space. However, they manage to rescue him at the last possible moment. The problem now is that they have consumed a lot of oxygen and don't know how to continue their journey. So Hart suggests that they go to a nearby colony to look for more oxygen. Indeed, after a while, they reach a colony, and when they enter, they discover that it is not a colony at all, but a model of a human home. The house is very nice and equipped with everything, so they decide to spend the night there and then go looking for oxygen cylinders in the morning. Edison starts telling them about herself, and they learn that she comes from a very wealthy family and that her parents divorced a long time ago. Her mother took her younger brother, Charlie, and traveled to Omega, where they are still in cryostasis. The next day, they go to ride in the car and continue their journey, but suddenly the car breaks down. So they are forced to continue walking to the crater. When they reach the crater and enter, they discover that it is a very technologically advanced room. Edison sees a button and presses it, and then the room around them transforms into a beautiful forest. Hart goes to stand on the spot his father told him about and finds something buried under the ground. He digs it up and finds a picture of his mother and father and the ashes of his deceased mother. At that moment, Hart starts to connect all the events and writes that his father decided to commit suicide before he turned 18 in order to force the government to reset the population of the Omega planet. This was so that his son would not suffer his whole life on the moon. Of course, Hart is completely devastated by what his father did and doesn't want to leave his friends, but they convince him that he has to go because he can't waste his father's effort after all this, who sacrificed his life so that he could live a good life. At this moment, one of them, Marcus, faints, so they quickly take him to the car. But while they are on the way, meteors start falling on them and suddenly Edison falls. So they rush to save her. Then they all reach the car, and Edison assures them that she has activated the alarm device and the rescue team will surely reach them soon. After a few hours, they start to lose consciousness one after another due to lack of oxygen, but suddenly the rescue vehicles arrive and save them. After a while, we see Hart waking up and writing that he has traveled to the planet Omega. Hart is heartbroken because 75 years have passed. Then, a woman comes to him and gives him a device that contains voice messages from his friends. He plays the messages and learns that Edison led many protests and was able to completely change the system on the moon. The law of the miners was abolished, and there are now many job opportunities for humans there. She also married Dylan, and they had children and grandchildren. Now, life on the moon is very happy after all the old, sterile laws were abolished. At the end of the message, Dylan thanks Hart for the wonderful journey they shared together, emphasizing how it changed their lives for the better. Then Hart goes to meet his new family, who have decided to adopt him. After a while, Hart goes to meet Charlie, Edison's brother, and starts to tell him about his sister. And that's it. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, share, and activate the bell so you can see the upcoming videos. We have reached the end of the summary. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching.